All right, sweet. So now we're going to talk about CSS specificity. And we have here this information here. We'll look at this in a second. But the main thing to know about specificity is illustrated in this problem. So what color is the text going to be? What color will this text be? Well, this CSS is being applied to this page. So what color is this text here going to be? Why? H1's red, but it also has the ID inf, which says blue. It also has the class cowboy, which is green. It also has the class emphasize, which is yellow. So browsers had to be built, and the CSS HTML specification had to be created to deal with conflicts, right? Of user error. We applied the same rule to the same thing multiple times. Which one's going to apply? And there's times where we want to overwrite rules. So how is CSS applied? We talked about control flow, sequence, iterative or loop, and conditional, right? And so the computers read code top to bottom. And so the CSS will be applied in order top to bottom. And if two rules conflict, so rule set with declaration, so if two targeting selectors with conflicting declarations conflict, they're trying to apply the same thing, like here, then there's something called CSS specificity. And the easiest way to see CSS specificity calculator. I can't, it screws up my wrist. Maybe if I lower this table. Oh, that's going to be good. Okay, that works. So we could go to the CSS specificity calculator. And we could take all this out. And we could see here, elements are in the ones spot. Classes and pseudo classes and attributes are in the 10 spot. IDs are in the 100 spot. And inline styles are in the 1000 spot. So whatever has the highest number is going to be what is applied. So if I just had an element and that was an H1, right? H1 has a score of 1. If I had a class and one was like emphasize, class has a score of 10. If I had an ID, right? IDs have a score of 100. So in this situation, and by the way, you could also have like, hey, H1 paragraph with an ID of surfer, right? And you could compare that to if you had the same rule being applied, like where it was main H1 ID H1 paragraph surfer, right? Which one's going to win? Which rule set? Yeah, which selector? Yeah. Well, this one down here because it's got 103. This one's got 102. Like if this was the entire selector, because you could have that as like, hey, select this element, right? So so here now, going back to this, what color is that going to be? Which rule set's going to be applied? Which one's going to win?
Yellow.
Yeah, blue, because ID has the highest score. Yay. So that's CSS specificity. Let's take a look at a few more examples here. What color will this be? The next example. So now what color will it be? H1. Did I close that already? No, here it is. So it's not H1, right? Because that's an element selector. So it's got to be either cowboy or emphasize. So out of those two, which one gets applied? What would you guess? I'm thinking cowboy because it's the last one, right? Yeah, last one in sequence, all other things being equal. So cowboy's green. Whoa, it went yellow. So surprise, surprise. Let's see if it's this. Oh, because yellow is the last order in the selector, sorry. I was thinking last order in there. Now it's green, right? Because it's the last one. So that was a trick. Are you looking at the HTML or the CSS where it's played in the HTML or the order the CSS got applied? It's the order the CSS got applied. I tricked myself. That was a good one. All right, so here is like a challenge. Let's see what this is doing. So if this is our CSS, so we have all this CSS here, and we have a paragraph. What color is the paragraph going to be? Black. If we have a paragraph with a class of blue, what color is the paragraph going to be? Yeah, because P is an element, class is, and that's a 1, and class is a 10, ID is 100, so that one's blue. So next one's going to be red because ID is 100 and a class is or an element is 1. And then if we have P blue also red, right, that's going to be also red because that's the highest one. Let's just check that. Yeah. And so here it shows the specificity count. Also red, got applied there. You like these challenges? What color is this going to be? Red? How many people say red? How many people say blue? I'm thinking the CSS again, the order. Red is the last one applied. This is kind of like the trick one that just got us a second ago, so I think it's going to be red. Cool. What about this one? Red. Still red. Yeah, that'll be blue. Okay. So what color will the LIs be? Why? Are they all going to be blue? What's mint julep and wheat beer? What color are they going to be? So I'm saying wheat beer and mint julep will be blue, right? The only question is what is whiskey and ginger ale going to be red or blue? How, so maybe we don't know yet, because it's like, well, heck, favorite. Well, we have color being applied twice. Does this rule hit all three of these? Yes, right? Does this rule hit this one? Yes. Now we have color and conflict on this one. So now we have to look at specificity. So favorite is a class. Classes are 10. And an ID is 100. An element is 1. And another element's 1. So we have 102 for blue. And the class is just 10. So I'm thinking it's blue, right? For all three? You guys are like, I don't know, dude. You're the teacher. So there's the specificity count, right? How about this one? Same HTML. Whiskey and ginger ale is in conflict again on color. Do the counts on each. What's the count on the first one? We have an element, which is what? 1. We have an ID, which is what? We got 101. We got an element, LI, which is what? An element, an LI is 1, so that's 102. And we have a class, which is a 10, so it's 112. The next one is element, element, element. That's 3. An ID is 100. That's 103. Element is 4. And then a class is 10. So we have 114. So they're all going to be blue. Otherwise, we're going to do some figuring out here. So that one's blue. Am I looking at the right one? We had red, blue. We have red, blue, and those are black. And the reason they're black is because this is UL, summer drinks, which is that one. And then LI, it needs class favorite, so it's only, yeah, so we got it right. I was just assuming that was being applied to those two. So what would happen if I took off favorite right here? These would then be, or if I took off favorite right here, these would then be red. Right? Because that would hit. This is only saying if you're an LI and you have the class favorite. That's when it's no space. It's an LI with the class favorite. If there's a space, it'd be an LI that contains something with the class favorite. Kong's like, huh? So look at the space here. I don't know if I use that. Here it is. That means, okay, there's an that means there's an LI that contains an element with a class favorite. That means there's an LI that has the class favorite. So that's a CSS specificity. Pretty cool, huh? Straightforward.